Tonight, a federal lawsuit accuses a Boise police officer of not hitting his target and instead shooting an Idaho Department of Correction officer during an inmate escape at a Boise hospital in 2024. Aspen Shumpert dug through that lawsuit today. Aspen, it comes after the city of Boise cleared this officer of any wrongdoing.
Right, which is why we are seeing this lawsuit now, 2 years after the incident. IDOC officer Christopher Wilski says he wasn't a threat when a Boise police officer opened fire outside St. Alphonsus. A federal lawsuit in Boise pits one law enforcement officer against another. An Idaho Department of Correction officer says his constitutional rights were violated when a Boise police officer shot him in the face. It was just after 2 a.m. on March 20th, 2024, when 3 IDOC officers were transporting inmate Skylar Mead, a member of the Aryan Knights gang, to St. Alphonsus in Boise after Mead cut himself with razors. Mead's accomplice, Nicholas Umfenauer, ambushed officers at the hospital, shooting 2 of them and helping Mead escape. The third officer, Christopher Wilsk, wasn't hit by Umfenauer's bullets. He says he dragged a wounded colleague into the ER, then went back to guard the entrance and call his supervisor. In a 21-page lawsuit filed against the city of Boise, a BPD officer, and Ada County, Wilsk says he was wearing his IDOC uniform and bright purple medical gloves, standing in the ER behind 2 sets of sliding glass doors. And his lawsuit says dispatchers warned responding BPD officers other officers were on scene. According to Wilsk, the scene was quiet when 4 Boise officers arrived. Before identifying himself, confirming the target, or using the code word the lawsuit says BPD and IDOC share to prevent friendly fire, Wilsk claims Boise officer Wayne Anderson fired a rifle through the 2 sets of glass doors, hitting Wilsk in the face. Wilsk's lawsuit describes Anderson's actions as reckless and his approach as, quote, shoot first, gather information later. The city of Boise and Anderson pushed back in a court filing, saying Anderson thought Wilsk was the suspect because Wilsk had a gun in his hand and matched the suspect's description from dispatch. They dispute having a code word and say the bullets never actually hit Wilsk. His injuries came from the shattered glass and bullet fragments. An Office of Police Accountability review of the shooting released this February shows an internal review found Officer Anderson's actions were reasonable, justified, and within policy. An outside prosecutor determined his actions were reasonable and justified too. In its response to the lawsuit, the city of Boise says Ada County dispatchers did not communicate sufficiently and didn't tell responding officers IDOC was already at the hospital with an inmate. They blame IDOC for not warning Boise police about the transport in the first place. Wills calls Boise's internal review disingenuous and that the Office of Accountability Review doesn't hold the Boise police officers responsible for the shooting. He's suing the city of Boise, Officer Anderson, and Ada County for excessive force, municipal liability, and negligence. Wilsk wants a jury trial and money to cover all his medical care, lost work, and psychological damage from the shooting. He says the dollar figure would be determined at trial. Morgan.
Okay, so you just mentioned Ada County is being sued. We heard from Boise. What is Ada County saying in response to this?
Right, Ada County wants to be dismissed from the case, arguing in their federal filings, Wilsk is past Idaho's 180-day deadline to put a government agency on notice. But Wilsk says the clock only started in February when the city's report blamed county dispatchers.
Okay, I know we'll follow this. Aspen, thank you.